An inspiring life story is the account of a moment when an extraordinary person reveals the key that unlocked the door to their success. Among the many themes explored in these narratives are triumphs over adversity and the shattering of previously established boundaries. Not only can you as an individual motivate others to chase their dreams, but you can also provide them with the means they need to keep going strong once they reach their goals. Life is an incredible teacher, and every experience, be it triumph or a challenge, leaves behind valuable lessons. Whether it's navigating relationships, pursuing passions, or facing adversity, we're all constantly learning and evolving. In this space, we bring you the stories of remarkable individuals who have faced life head on, embraced change, and emerged stronger and wiser. Today's guest is my sister-in-law, mother of two kids, one that is 5 and one that is 13. She currently works full-time at CQ in the digital operations support space, but in her spare time, she runs a photography business. Photography is her passion. Her business, TM Photography Baltimore, is now going on 2 years. Congratulations to her. Keep up the good work. I welcome you, business owner and photographer, Tiffany Scott. Hey, Tiffany, welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
Good to you.
I'm good. Thank you so much for deciding to be a guest on the show today. We're going to have great conversation. Your voice and your story is going to inspire many people who may feel as though they're in a spot that they can't get out of. So today, your story can be an inspiration to many people who decide to listen. So thank you for deciding to share your story and your experience, and let's get this show on the road.
All right.
So, our first question of the day is describe your profession, the moment you realized it was your calling, and maybe share one or two of the highest points of your journey thus far.
All right. I love photography my entire life. It really started when I was about 6 years old. My father bought me a Barbie camera and I used to take pictures everywhere. And it was one of those cameras where you get to you get to take the pictures to get the pictures developed.
Oh,
And then from there, when I got older, like when I was like 10, everything started to be digital. So you can like plug in the Barbie camera and it had like a Barbie app on the computer. And I would pretty much take those pictures and then I would like edit it with the software. I think that was like maybe 10, 11 years old.
oh wow.
But my father always bought me different the disposable cameras. I had the little Barbie camera and I just love taking pictures. I was the annoying kid growing up, like, okay, you get over there, I want to take your picture. I always love photography and I kind of went away from photography for a little bit and I started painting and drawing. When I was from 6th to 8th grade, of course, I took a lot of like art classes and I just loved art. It was kind of like photography, then art, and then back to photography. So I did a couple paintings. I wasn't great at it, but it was a way to release my anger or whatever. I used to love
Mhm.
to paint. And more so abstract, not like a people so that was what I did in between like 6th to 8th grade. Then 9th grade, I started taking photography classes again, and I was still taking studio art. That was my only honors class was art. Fine arts. Yeah, that was my only like honors art class, but loved art and loved photography. So then I picked it back up. my mom bought me a um my mom bought me a my first film camera, and I used to sit after class or after school and develop my pictures in the back, and I would just take pictures everywhere. I just love creating memories. I feel like photography is a way to create memories with your family, with your life. Okay, I took a picture of this. It's like I have so many pictures. I still have pictures from my high school with me. I have pictures that my mom put up that I took back when I was like 7th, 8th grade. So it's just, I feel like it's my passion because it's what I love from day one. And my dad did pass away when I was 12, and I feel like I'm doing it for me, but I'm doing it for him because he saw it in me when I was a kid. So
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, that was a, that was a very moving story and explanation of how your journey started because I can relate in a way because my passion is I love writing poetry. So and this how I
mhm.
it's how I express anger, frustration, sadness,
Yes.
whatever the case may be. So to hear you talk about how you went to painting for a few years and then came back to photography kind of reminded me of how like I went away from poetry. The only difference is I didn't find a different outlet. I didn't go to something else. I just kind of like went away from it because, you know, it was like when you do art, you want to express yourself, but the thing about it, you
Yes.
want to be heard, you want to be seen.
Yes.
You want your work, your feelings, your thoughts, whatever, to be heard and seen. And I felt like mine wasn't for a while. But
Right.
so then you come back to, doing photography. And, when I found out about your love and passion for photography, I was like, oh, that's a heavily growing business and field to be in. But with your work, I think what's great about the field that you're in and the work that you're doing is how much you stand out. Like you do so many different things. Like you do sports, you do weddings, you do birthdays, you do so many things. And how don't you get tired? I have no idea, especially
I'm
with having two
exhausted.
kids. So, but
I literally, I don't mean to cut you off. I
no, it's fine.
literally shot wrestling states the past 2 days. I shot 5,000 photos in two
Oh my
days.
God.
I shot from literally 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock each day.
Oh,
Like, and my business was pretty much on the media team, so that was fun. And that was like my first time I was able to put down my business name. And then I walked and I just said TM Photography Baltimore and they handed me my badge. I was like,
oh,
and I
oh,
was taking pictures for the I was taking pictures for of the kids, and it was a nice experience. I got great content, great photos, and I wouldn't even been there if it wasn't for my fiance. So he pushed me. He said, "I'm gonna get you in states. I'm gonna get you in states," and I filled out the paperwork, and
well,
so
shout out to my brother.
he is my inspiration. He pushes me. He pushes me when it comes to sports. Sports is like you need to sign up for this, sign up for that. So it's like it's great to have someone to push you where where you need to be, and I will continue to push him. So
Yep, I could definitely relate to that over here. So, so when you look back on your journey, what are some of your proudest moments? I know you just mentioned about you getting your award for states. Is that your proudest,
Mhm.
or do you have another one that you would like to share?
My biggest one was this past year. I was published in the Baltimore Sun, and for
I didn't
I
know.
shot
I
a
did not know about this.
yeah. I'm gonna send you the article. I'll send you the article. Like
Please.
it says Tiffany Scott, like and I did the entire like article. It was amazing. So I got hired for the Baltimore Sun let's say like spring of last year. Like they emailed me back. They told me that I had to get like a type of ID and everything. And my background and everything came back great. And I just been waiting. I'm emailing him every month, like, is it anything, like following up. And then he randomly was like, I have a job for you. I'm gonna send you to Catonsville High School to shoot soccer. So I shot a soccer game and it was amazing. Like I was out there just doing my thing, taking the pictures. And then he texts me and say, we need the pictures done by tonight. I'm like, I only have until tonight to
Oh my
go through all these
goodness.
pictures. I took like 1,000
For the
pictures.
Baltimore Sun at that?
Yes.
Oh,
So he said that I had to have the article and everything done by like I think 11 o'clock was my deadline. So I rushed home. I had the kids with me and I rushed home. I went through the pictures. I'm like, let me just pick out the best ones. And I'm just like sweating bullets because I'm like, I don't want to mess this up. This is my first
right.
article with the Baltimore Sun. I can't mess this up, right? So I'm just going through it, found the best pictures. I had to type up the different players and the plays, and which I usually don't do. If I shoot sports, they tell me to go there. I take the pictures, I pick the best ones out, I post it to some cloud. And then they send me a check, or I'm not used to actually doing an article. I had to actually do the article, like
Oh wow.
write out everything in the article and then send it to him so that he could post it to the website.
Oh wow.
And I was like super nervous, and he was like, it's a certain way that you gotta like upload the pictures, and so it's just there. The Sun is like, of course, it's the Baltimore Sun. Of
Right,
course
yeah,
they're like,
absolutely.
but I was so nervous. And then that's when he sent me the article at like midnight, because he had to like do some retouches to my article. And then
Mm-hmm.
he sent me the link to the article, and I was in my car crying. Like I was sending it to people. I was like, I published.
Wow,
And I
that's
was sitting in a
incredible.
car and I was just like crying. I'm like, I felt like I made it. I'm like, I'm published, and it says Tiffany Scott there. Like I
Mm-hmm.
never thought that I would be able to get to that point, like awesome feeling in the world. So to get
Wow.
hired by my business, and then that was the only thing I've done so far, but they've been emailing me about setting up new things. So I know in the spring I'm gonna have some more stuff coming up. So
Oh,
which
that's
is cool.
incredible. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And the thing about that too is like hearing you talk about this, I'm thinking like I'm going in the back of my mind thinking like all of the pictures that you see attached to these articles and
Mm-hmm.
how important it is to have a great picture with an article because
Mm-hmm.
nowadays people will get brought in or will be interested in reading the article because of a picture they see. So you got to make sure you capture that moment that's going to
Yes.
grab their attention because most of the times, and I'm pretty sure you just like me, you'll read an article, you'll probably read maybe 3 or 4 sentences, and then be like, oh, okay, I already knew this, or all right, I got what I needed out of
Right.
this.
Right.
But
Yeah.
what they'll remember is that picture that they saw. So
Mm-hmm.
to be hired and take a picture for an article for the Baltimore Sun, that's big stuff there. Congratulations. And
Yeah. And I
you
was
send me
and
that
I
link.
wanted to be, huh, what'd you say?
I said, make sure you send me that link.
I was sending you the link. I wanted to be like posted everywhere, but he just was so specific with it. He was like certain things I couldn't do, and I didn't want to like
Gotcha.
post it everywhere and then
Hmm.
get out that I, like I don't know. It was like a list of things that he was saying that we can't do with the pictures. He said I couldn't use the pictures that was in the article, and it's just certain thing. I just didn't want to mess anything up, so I was too nervous to be not to be happy, because of course I was happy, but like post it online. I'm not that type of person anyway. Like,
Okay.
I know who I am. I don't need to like, how people like to
Right.
always post what they're
Yeah,
doing.
I'm the same
I'm
way.
not that type of person.
Yeah.
So I don't feel the need to,
No, you and me
you
are
know.
here with that. I'm the same way. So I feel you on that. So now, again, it's funny that when you share these stories with me, I don't like it's almost kind of like a segue, or maybe you already shared it. But
Hmm.
here we have a segment called Boom, which is biggest obstacle overcame or
Hmm.
overcome or met. So tell me about the toughest obstacle you've encountered previously, or maybe you're currently facing at the moment as it pertains to your business. And tell me what you took away from that experience and how it's paved the way for where you are now.
Now when I first started my business, it was really hard because of me just trying to figure out the taxes and and like sorry. That part was like, oh my
Yes.
God, these photo shoots. Gotta get the PDF, not the PDF, but get the Excel sheet of the photo shoots, and then getting it
Mhm.
over. I know that's like secondary. That's not really sorry, but that part
Oh,
stresses me out.
I want you to share your
But
story. So whatever your story
yeah,
is, share it.
but as far as like, it was pretty much me trying to bring in the business, because it's so hard to bring in business if you don't have a studio. I
Mhm.
don't have a studio because I started working with certain photographers and businesses, and it never worked out, which I wish it did. Every time I would meet up with a studio, somebody who owns a studio, they would say, okay, yes, I only charge you percentage, and then you can bring your clients here. And then something would happen that would just like, okay, I'll give you a story. So I was in this one studio that I love. I'm not gonna mention them, but I was at a studio that I loved. I love working with them. I took like all my clients there, right? And I'm used to working with one lady. And she, she always let me in. She's really nice. But then I was working with her business partner that day, and I never worked with him before. So I had my clients on the third floor of where the studio was. And I went down, I ran outside to my car to grab something for the photo shoot. I think I was missing a prop or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he turns the lights out. So I'm like, why would you turn the lights out and I'm in the studio all the way upstairs? So I went tumbling down the stairs with my camera. And I was just so like angry about that because I'm like, I'm bringing business to your business. So why would
Right.
you do something like that? Like, I felt like he did that because he see that I'm bringing in business. He's probably another photographer. He's not bringing in as much business as I am. And I think he did that on purpose, to be honest with you. And that was the last time I worked with that studio because you just don't turn the lights out when I'm coming down the stairs. Like, who does
Right.
that? It's just something that I don't, I can't do business with people who would do that to me.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I cut ties with them. And then it's just things like that. If I can bring in enough business where, like, spring is my time of the year where I'm getting the most business because people want to take pictures at the park or certain locations, and it's better for me now, as opposed to the winter when it's cold and people getting sick. So it's like it's that obstacle, like it's that thing where it's like when it get cold outside, or it's Christmas time, people don't want to pay for pictures unless it's like Christmas photos. But I don't have a studio, so
Right. Right. Right.
that's where I keep getting stuck. If I had a studio, I wouldn't have to deal with half the things that I pretty much deal with. So, but I always make a way out anyway. I set up, I set up a Photoshop at your house. I set up
Yeah.
a Photoshop. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
I set up a photo booth or something like it. Like
I knew what you
I'm a
meant.
traveling photographer, so I always make things work. I try to make it like, okay, we're gonna meet at this park. I know you want to do this type of shoot. We're gonna go to this park or this location or whatever. I try to make the best out of it, but sometimes people want that privacy of being in the studio, being in their own room. They're able to wear whatever they want, and that is my biggest issue right now. But I pray that within next year, after we figure out, getting the house and everything, that I'll be able to have my own studio. But it's just that I think I got a little off key.
No,
I
you're
just been
fine.
talking.
No, it's fine. No, I totally
But
get where you're coming from.
that's the hardest thing about being a photographer. When you don't have your own space, it's hard to do things, and that's where I am with that. But as far as and then as far as like um I'll
Like
find something soon.
how it
So
paved the way for where you are now. So, I mean, honestly, I think so. Based on what you're saying, I totally get what you're saying. I mean,
mhm.
one, that's not how you do business with someone. You know,
Right.
the, to turn the lights off on you, especially knowing that you're there.
Yeah, and yeah, it's crazy. Like I'm walking down the steps and the lights are off, and I'm thinking I'm at the last step. No.
Oh,
I'm like, oh my goodness.
well, I'm glad you
And then he
got.
runs out like he cares, like, oh my God, what happened?
I'm glad you got out of that. You
Yeah.
okay? You got out of that. Not as harmed. I'm not sure how hurt you were, but
Yeah, my foot was hurting because my actual lens fell right on my foot as I was coming down the steps. Yep. It was a bad experience. So I just cut ties with them. And it is
well,
what it is. Things happen for a reason. So
exactly. And that was what I was going to say. Things happen for a reason, and
mhm,
one, the more and more you develop these relationships, attract this business, God to make a way to give you
mhm,
your own studio, whether it's an in-home studio, you're
right.
able to get a space somewhere else, God to make a
Mhm,
way for you. So if this is your passion, this is your calling, and you bring out the best in people through your skill of photography, God will find a way to reward you. So I'm thankful that you shared that story with me. And I know that that's probably something that a lot of photographers
yeah.
struggle with, and just business owners in general, having to
Right.
operate operate either remote, mobile, or out of your home and don't have your own office to work with because
Hmm.
you know paying for a lease and rental space is not cheap. So
It's not, no. And
so
I want to add this too. I also tried to grab because I worked in I've not only just been in business with photography, I worked in photography for like
oh yeah.
since 2014. Like I started at Life Touch. Then I was working at this other photography called I mean it's other photography, this other company called Classic Photography. I did Mom 365 in a hospital, Picture People,
Oh wow.
um Legacy Studios. That's kind of like another it's like another Light Touch.
Mhm.
Um but I think it was better. I learned so much with that position, that job.
With
I learned a
legacy,
lot about photography with that job. What did you say?
you
Sorry.
said with legacy.
Legacy Studios, yes,
Mhm.
because Light Touch doesn't teach you anything. Sorry, it teaches you how to set up a backdrop and then you have to shoot to their standards. And it really doesn't teach you photography. It just teaches you how to take the pictures for them. So I really didn't learn a lot at Light Touch. However, I learned a lot with Legacy Studios because I was able to um I was able to set up the way I wanted to set up whatever backdrop I wanted, and I learned a lot about a lot more about cameras, and I feel like working in photography taught me to be the photographer I am today. So,
Oh, that's a
which was a gamble because I just remember just working all of these like 9 to 5 jobs, and I'm like, I need to do something that I want to do, and that's photography. I can't keep working at the mall or working fast food or doing this. I want to stop doing all this other stuff and
mhm.
work on what I want to do with my life. So I completely stopped, um and Life Touch called me, and I quit whatever I was doing before that. Don't even remember. I was like, bye, Joe. I'm at Life Touch now. And then Life Touch got me all the other jobs because when you work at Life Touch and you're a photographer, you can work anywhere. Like
Mhm.
Life Touch is like a stamp, to
Mhm.
photography, especially I feel like, especially in Baltimore. Like if you put Life Touch on your resume, they think you're just this great photographer. So just, at least that's how I feel because they will see
No,
Life
you
Touch
probably
on here.
right.
You worked at Life Touch. I'm like, yeah, I did. Yep.
Well, yeah, that's how it
No,
is.
I didn't learn anything, but it
Yeah,
it
that's
got
how
me
it
where
is
I need to be.
with a lot of the people facing companies. That's how they
Hmm.
think about it. They think about like, oh, you work with one of the top two or top three companies in our field. Yeah, we definitely got to
Hmm.
bring you on board because the way they look at it is they look at the fact that you had the opportunity to build relationships and connect with a multitude
Hmm.
of people. So if you then
Right.
get brought on to this other company that's a competitor to them, they're like, oh, he or she can bring in the same kind of skills, experience, and knowledge that they got from Life Touch and help boost us up and bring us closer to the competition. Because that's just the way they think, and that's why that's what happened with me with my current job. When I left my
Hmm.
old employer, they made it a
Hmm.
point to say to the team that I was joining, like, yeah, he used to work for One Main, one of the competitors. And then everybody started laughing about it or made a big deal about it. So it's a it's a competitive environment in general.
Right.
When you think
Yeah.
about but when you think about a people facing job, yeah, those things definitely come into play.
Yeah.
So without getting too far into into talking about other stuff or getting into talking about different things, we're going to now segue over to the segment that I call spiritual relief. And this is where
Hmm.
I share a Bible verse and give my thoughts. And Tiffany, if you like, you're welcome to share your thoughts or give your input on it, but you're not required to. So
Okay.
I'm gonna start off and I'm gonna read the verse. And today's segment comes from Hebrews chapter 10, verse 2. And it reads, if those gifts given to God could take away sins, the people who came to worship would no longer feel guilty of sin. They would have given no more gifts. So what this verse means to me is we're all giving gifts. And when we cherish those gifts, such as Tiffany with her gift of photography, my gift of poetry, or any gift that you may have. Those gifts that we're given are given for God, to honor God and to share and show God's love to those that we're around, that we come in contact with. So what that verse reads to me is, if we were to not take, if we were to take for granted and not appreciate those God-given gifts, we would
Hmm.
then feel as though we're lacking, or we're not holding up our end of the bargain for God. So with each gift that you have, make sure you cherish it, show God gratitude and thanks and appreciation for it, and listen to his voice on how he tells you how to use it and how to go out and show his love and express his love to others through your gifts.
That's what I try to do.
Well, we appreciate you, and I'm sure God appreciates you too. So, in the last segment, this one, I like to have a little bit of fun with each guest that I have on my podcast, talking
Okay.
about their profession and their specialties. So with you being a great photographer, I'm sure
Hmm.
there are a lot of customers who come to you saying, I want to go have my photo shoot at this place, or I want
Hmm.
this scene, I want this type of look. So what I'm going to share is, I'm going to share places that I've known to be top places to go and have photography. It's been a while since I actually had a photo shoot, so I could be outdated with this, but I'm going to give it a try here. So, um, one of the popular places that I heard of were people going to the graffiti alley here in Baltimore, or
Yes, and that's where I wanted to take my cousins today.
oh, really?
But I didn't. I'm like, I don't have time today. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it later on this week. But the graffiti alley is amazing. The only thing I can say that kind of bothers me is that parking lot that's right near the graffiti wall used to
Ooh,
be free. Now you have to pay for parking.
what?
Yeah, it used to be free. Like you can either park in the parking lot where the market is. I think it's Stop Shop and Save or something over there. You can either just park over there. That's free. But it was an immediate parking lot right next to the graffiti alley. And now when I tried to park in there, they said you had to like download the app or something and like
Oh
pay
my
for
God.
parking. So that's the only thing, but it is amazing down there. It's best to go on days when the weather says, "Oh, it's going to rain today," and it ends up being sunny. Go that day. Because if you go when it says it's going to be sunny, if you go when it says it's going to be sunny, it's going to be so many other photographers there. You're not even going to get the shots you want. You're going to have to keep waiting. So, but
So
it's pretty cool
So
down
while you
there.
mentioned that, then let me ask you two questions. One, well, it's kind of a double question, or it's a two-form question. So in those situations, if I'm a customer and I say to you, yeah, I want to have a photo shoot in Graffiti Alley, and I want to
Mhm.
have it at a prime time where a lot of photographers are going to be, do you
Mhm.
charge a premium or upcharge for that? Because
No,
you got to battle with other photographers, you got to pay for parking.
not really battle. I'm just going to find my space and I will Photoshop them out. Sorry,
Okay.
that was a loud laugh.
No, it's fine. I told you we can have fun on this podcast. We don't got to be serious. We're not
So
like doing no
I
couples
went,
counseling or anything.
yeah, so I wouldn't like, so I would just kind of like Photoshop the other people out of the
Okay.
picture. So
See,
yeah.
that's one of the things that I appreciate with like business owners like you, is like they will find ways to uptick or increase their price for things like that. Like, because we live in a society now where me as a customer, I'm thinking of things like that, because there's a lot of businesses out here that will do that. They'll think about the inconveniences that they are given based on where you want to do something, and they'll think, well, I got to pay this for parking. Is
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot of people out there, and then next thing you know, they're charging you for that, and for you to say, no, I could charge the same price. All I got to do is make a few edits, do some
Yeah,
photo.
just a few editing because it's easy to just take them on Photoshop and then kind of like just cut them out. So
Okay.
it's easy to just
Well,
I'd
when I
rather just do that, or I'll just find a space where I know that they are not going to be. So
okay, well, when I refer people to you for photography, I'm gonna make sure I let them know that you don't do no underhand charges. There's no hidden fees or nothing like that. So, so another place now, again, I could be dating myself here. The last
Hmm.
time I did a photo shoot, like, outside of my house was, I want to say 2016 when
Oh yeah, I
when
think
my,
I saw those photos. Yeah, I
yeah,
think.
we were at the East Harbor. So we were at the East
Yeah.
Harbor place over by not too far from Fells Point. So I
Hmm.
enjoy having a photo shoot there because the many different backgrounds that they were able to do, the backdrops with, they had one where you had the ships in the background, then you had one
Hmm.
where the businesses and all of that stuff. So that was a pretty cool spot. Do people still like to go there?
I'm not. Yeah, yeah. It's how can I explain it? It just depends on what part of the day because you don't want to go when it's too sunny. You kind of want to go when the sun is kind of like low, so it'd be easier for your settings. Well, I could shoot either way, but I'm saying preferably for me. So I like it when it's a little dim and then I can kind of do whatever I want with the photos. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Now the last one that I thought of, and then I'm gonna give you a chance to tell me your favorite places to do photo shoots at. The last one that I thought of was, even though I just said East Harbor,
Mhm.
Inner Harbor is kind of played out now, but I know some people that still, well, actually, no, I know some people that actually like to do it at the ballpark. That's the one I was thinking of, like Orioles.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
know, and I actually would like to do one there. I might actually have to get with you to do one with me and Jessica's family because
Okay.
her her father loves the Orioles. Like his love for the Orioles is equivalent to my love for the Packers, and I don't think there's any higher you can go than that. So
Right.
he loves the Orioles, and I might actually get with you to do a photo shoot there this summer because that would actually be a nice gift from me to him and their families. But that's
Yeah,
just
that would be
that I
fun.
think.
That sounds like it's fun. Yeah, and he'll have all his Oreo gear.
Hmm.
That would be dope.
Now I'm gonna be looking for you to do one for me in Lambeau. You're gonna have to travel. So in Green Bay, you gonna do the cold, you gonna be able to do it in the cold weather?
I got you. I'm here for the art.
So what are your some of your favorite places to do photo shoots at?
Well, one is the graffiti wall you already mentioned, but what is it called? It's a park that's off of Green Spring. I had the name something Emporium. I feel bad.
Oh,
But
I have an idea what you're talking about.
yeah, it's literally across the street from Sinai Hospital. I
Oh,
wish I knew.
yes, you're talking about oh, I think it's like Silburn or something. Or
Yeah, yep, it is like Ilburn.
yeah, it's like a yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm
I
about
feel
to
so
look at
bad because I thought I had it written down, but no,
Silburn
that
Arbor
is my
Arbor.
absolute, yeah, that is my absolute favorite place to shoot because I mean, like, I've done engagement shoots there. I've done baby photo shoots, family photo. I love that. I absolutely love that park. It's beautiful and it has different places to get pictures. Like, I mean, it's that park is amazing. I know I did a 4-year-old shoot there. It's
Oh
just
wow. Yeah, you're talking about the Silburn Arboretum or
yes,
Arboretum. I
yep.
don't know how to
Love
pronounce
that
it.
park. Since it's in the city, I always have to like get a permit. Any
Oh,
place
you do?
that you yeah, any of the parks in like the city, you have to get like a permit
So is it
to
like a
shoot.
one-time permit or you get a permit for like
You
a
gotta come get a permit every time you come for that day.
you have to
So
pay how much you have
sometimes
to
a guy
pay
will
for it?
roll around in like a truck and pass me a paper to like fill out if I don't have one.
Oh.
Or I fill it out online and I already have that contact. Like for Baltimore City, I had that contact and I would send them my paper and they'll say, okay, you're approved for this time. And then if it's over 2 hours, I think they charge some type of fee, depending on where you're going to be shooting at, they charge a fee. But that's for the most part, a lot of the Baltimore City parks are like that.
Oh wow. Dang.
Especially that one. That one's like permit or you gotta go.
Oh
They
wow.
they'll see somebody with a camera and they're asking for a permit.
Wow. I believe it. I mean, you learn something new every day, but that makes sense. And
Yeah.
I had a friend that was going to do her, I think she was going to do her wedding there, but the things fell off. So I see you looking away. You probably got some family business to handle. So um just so now, did you have any other places that you wanted to name? Because you named two, and I wanted to give you give
So
you
oh, John Hopkins off of Broadway. That area
Oh,
is beautiful. That area is
we
completely
just drove
beautiful.
through
Like
there
right
yesterday
outside the
too.
hospital, it's like a park right across from it. I think that's
Mhm.
like where the dorms are. It's like Broadway and I can't think of the other street. Yeah, it's another street.
It's like, 'cause I think a few streets run through it. I know Central runs through it,
Uh-huh.
and I think what's that street? It's like right on the tip of my tongue. Um, I can't think of the name, but I know the area you're talking about. I know exactly what area you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. So I just yeah, I love like sorry. I do have some family here.
All right. Well, let me close out then.
But but yeah, that area at John Hopkins is amazing. I did a photo shoot for I did a graduate photo shoot there. So that was absolutely fun. I love those photos. I keep referring back to those like I can do your photos. So
Okay. Well, I
for your
appreciate you.
graduation.
I
Oh,
appreciate
sorry.
you taking the time to talk about your career and your journey. Again, your story can inspire, uplift, and motivate anyone really that's listening. So
Mhm.
we appreciate you taking the time. And as always, I appreciate you all for tuning into the to Live and Learn for another informative episode. We hope that you are able to come away with fresh insight, knowledge, and motivation to carry with you on your own path. And keep in mind that learning and living are constant companions throughout life. Please make sure you subscribe for more listening discussions and forward this episode to your family and friends if you like what you heard here. You can also follow us at Deep Discussion on all major social media platforms. And if you like to be a guest or somehow do business with Deep Discussion, you can contact me at 443-356-6096 or email me at deepdiscussion13@gmail.com. And lastly, if you're interested in receiving speaking or coaching services, I'm the guy. Or if you like to share a story via the Live and Learn podcast. But until we cross paths again, may you continue to live, learn, and appreciate the adventure. Stay inquisitive and take care.